This is the story that I have come to tell you today. So perhaps one or two people might learn from this story. I had a friend who died many years ago. Sadly enough, I am thinking now that if she had listened to her husband then, perhaps she might not have died. Ask me why I'm saying this. I had uploaded some videos on the importance of listening. The links are in the description below. You might want to check out those videos. Let me go back a bit to telling the story and how I arrived at this point. Many years ago, we were friends, and we had been friends before she got married, and we used to share a lot of things in common. We were in different groups together, and we were really, really close. I'm talking about a friend who we were free to visit each other, we were free to stay at each other's houses for many days as long as we liked. We were friends. We shared values and all that stuff together, all right? People used to call us sisters from different mothers, and she used to joke a lot. She used to say, oh, maybe her father played away match and got me from another woman. She used to joke a lot like that. Well, we were just friends, but we were more like siblings, really, really close. As time went on, she had this boyfriend. From friendship, they went into a relationship, and straight away, the man had told her that he wanted a long term relationship, and they dated for a while and they got married. Before they got married, while they were dating and courting, they were discussing a lot of things, how they wanted their lives to be in future, and they talked a lot and discussed so many things in advance before they got married. Now they got married. It was a sweet relationship, it was a happy relationship, it was a happy marriage. Thinking about my friend, sometimes I still think about her, I remember her, and it breaks my heart to know the way she died. It breaks my heart to know a few things about her and what had transpired in the end. Going back to the story, they started having children. They had a daughter and then they had a son. She wanted a third one, and the man reminded her, remember that we had discussed this thing before we even got married, and we had agreed to have 2 children. She talked to me about, and I had told her then, I said, please, it's even for your benefit. You have had 2 children through natural births. Why do you want to force a third child on your husband? He said to you before you got married that he wanted only 2, and 2 of you agreed that you wanted only 2. I joked with her. I said the joy of having children has now come upon you, and you don't want to let go of having children. Now you want a third one. Why don't you just concentrate on these 2 that God has given you? Work in agreement with your husband. Thereafter, as your children are growing, you'll be growing and you'll be enjoying yourself. We used to joke like that. But you see, she didn't tell me she was bent on having a third child, but she did something. The discussion ended there, and I was shocked to see that she was pregnant, the third one. During the third pregnancy, she started having issues. The first trimester was a lot of stress, a lot of issues came up. Second trimester, she even had to have bed rest, a lot of bed rest, and eventually she gave birth to the child. Okay, when she gave birth to the child, we spoke at length, and I joked with her and I was like, oh, you have had your wish now. Now you have the third child. Are you going to rest now? I hope this is your last child. I hope you're not going to have another one. Those kind of talks that we usually talk when people have children and all that and all that. We joked and laughed. And she said, oh, no, don't worry. She has had her wish. I then asked her, how did you manage to even achieve this? Oh, your husband eventually agreed to you having the third child, right? Now, this is a sad part for me. She said no, that her husband did not agree to have the third child, but she had to find a way around it. Then I asked her, what did you do? She said to me that They use condoms, right? And that her husband used to buy lots of packets of condoms and, just for that use. It was working for them. And what she did was she went and bought a packet of needles, and that she had to use the tiniest size of needles to punch holes into all the condoms without her husband knowing, and that those were the condoms that her husband eventually used. So she got pregnant without her husband knowing that this is what she had done, and that was how she got pregnant. All right, she told me this, and it broke my heart that she had to do this. And I told her, do you know what you have done? This is deceit. She laughed about it and said, oh, but something good has come out of it, and now she has her child. She had complications. Right from the first trimester, there had been complications about this pregnancy. But she said that if she had listened to her husband, perhaps she might not have had the complications right from the first trimester, but that she had complications, and that is why she was still in the hospital. On the third day, the baby gave up. Sadly, the child died in the hospital due to the complications that the child came with. She was really distraught. After the fourth day, they then discharged her from the hospital and she went back home. When she got back home, she was still feeling okay. She was still, she felt strong in her body, but she was really, really sad because she lost the child. And I tried to console her, and by the sixth day, she was a bit better, a bit stronger. On the seventh day, I don't know what happened, but my friend died on the seventh day. So, she lost her child, her baby, and she lost her life. We lost her. Every time I remember this, it makes me very, very emotional, and it makes me very emotional. I had to gather a lot of courage to come and tell you this story because I want to use it to buttress the fact that you should listen to your husband. Okay? Now, someone out there might say, oh, but this is just one woman out of 3 billion or 3.5 billion in the whole wide world. Yes, you might say that, but how many cases do you need to convince you that you need to listen to your husband? For my single friends out there, you know that I have already encouraged you to talk about a lot of things. Anything that you can think of, talk about a lot of things with the person that you are in a relationship with, whether you are a man or a woman. Discuss a lot, talk a lot before you get married so that you can reach a lot of agreements. And when one person begins to act up in the relationship, remind the person of what you had discussed. In her case, they had discussed it, they had agreed, but she eventually wanted more. And she spoke to her husband, and the man said, no, babe, I'm okay with the two that we have. Let us sit down and take care of these two children so that as we are growing, they too, they will be growing, and time will come when they will be like they are siblings if we really take good care of them and take good care of us. They had agreed to before they got married, and he reminded her. But sadly and unfortunately, my friend did not listen, and she went ahead, devised a means to get pregnant. She got pregnant, she had the baby died, and she also died after some days. So you see, this is one of the reasons I said perhaps my friend might have lived if only she had listened to her husband. So I can't tell you what to do, but the question is, would you rather listen? Would you rather discuss? Would you rather lose your relationship because you don't want to listen? Nobody would want to pay the ultimate price for being heady or for not listening or for not keeping to one's word in a marriage. All right, so this is the story that I have come to tell you today. So perhaps one or two people might learn from this story. If you like this video, give it a thumb up, share so that other people might learn, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to all for more uploads. My name is Princess. I'll see you in my next video.